Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So, my name is Bidyut Dumra. I do look after innovation. I'm very hands-on, as you can see. So I've been given a couple of minutes to take you guys through the DBS story, and I thought I'll just sort of call it innovation at scale. And the story starts off like any good story, once upon a time, and I'm going to take you back to 2009. So in 2009, what was happening from a financial perspective is it was the financial crisis. All the banks were in a complete disarray, they were losing money, etc., etc., etc. Lots of problems. But DBS, sitting over here in Singapore, we didn't have those same problems. Singapore is a conservative, traditional nation. We were risk averse. We had a regulator that was monitoring and keeping us on a leash. So we didn't have the same problems that the banks in the West had. But we had our own unique problems. At that time, if you asked anyone what was DBS, they'd probably turn around and say, DBS, damn bloody slow. The general joke was if you saw a long line, it was either good food at a hawker center, or if it was one of our ATMs. And the customer stats reflected exactly the same thing. We were at the bottom of the pack. So at that time, the entire leadership said, okay, we got to change this. We can't just continue in this way. So at the offsite, everyone came together and we basically decided that we had to redefine ourselves. And as James mentioned, the why, our why, was to make banking joyful. Now, from where we sat, if you sit at the bottom at damn bloody slow, the aspiration of making banking joyful is far, far away. But nonetheless, it was a purpose. And we knew from us going down there to up there, we would have to do many, 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 many things. It was going to be a journey. We did multiple things. One of those things is what I'm going to talk about today, and that was the notion of innovation, to be innovative. And it was all hinged on the fact that innovation is about value, it's about change, it's about trying to do things differently for a purpose. So we created an innovation team, and they say with innovation, you shouldn't put any rules, but we did put one rule. The one rule was no innovation allowed. We basically said the job of the innovation team was not to create innovations, but to create innovators. Don't solve problems, create problem solvers. The entire notion was why leave the future of the bank in the hands of a few people when you could democratize it to everyone? And why? I'll show you a quick little video.
To answer that question, we set up a hidden camera experiment to see if this woman would stand up at the sound of this tone, simply because everyone else is. You might be thinking you'd never go along with this. Or would you? Just 3 beeps, and without knowing why she's doing it, this woman is now conforming perfectly to the group. But what happens if we take the group away?
Elaine, please.
Okay, now she's alone. The crowd is gone and nobody is watching her, except our hidden cameras. What do you think she'll do? She's now conforming to the rules of the group without them even being there. Now, watch what happens when we introduce another outsider who doesn't know the rules.
Have a seat and they'll be out in just a couple minutes. Thanks so much.
Everybody was doing it, so I thought I was supposed to.
Think she'll teach the new guy what to do? kept the cameras rolling as more unsuspecting patients arrived. And slowly but surely, what began as a random rule for this woman has now become the social norm for everyone in this waiting room.
We are biometrically trained to follow. And what happens in companies is this becomes 10 times magnified because you've got structures, you've got rules, you've got hierarchies, you've got processes. And this was an experiment I did. Now, I'll take you and show you another example. We've got these beautiful ATMs. These are called ATM pluses. They do everything. They do withdrawals and deposits. We put them in Jurong Point because there are a lot of people doing these transactions. And we said that data tells us the moment you put them in, people are going to start using them. And boom, everyone started using it. It was brilliant. Somehow then the guy started noticing, hey, what's going on? People are doing withdrawals on the left and deposits on the right. The machines do all the same thing. And I'm like, what's going on? And any of you guys know any data scientists or working in data? You give them a problem like this, they'll say, give me more data. They started looking, where's the sun going? Is the road over here so they feel more secure? Is it the older people that are going to that side, to this side? They couldn't figure out. In the end, they put their hands up and said, we don't know what's going on. These customers, they're completely illogical. And they called the customer team over. The customer team came over, they had a look at the ATMs, and they had a look up. We had put wonderful signage over there, and people took it as a cue. We changed the signs, it changed the behavior. So the entire paradigm was that if people are wired, we've got to unwire them. We've got to basically learn how to decode a person and recode them. The notion of an innovator is a person who's a change agent. A person who does have, who feels or truly believes that the world can be a better place and is motivated to be the one to be part of that change. So we said we're going to start on two things. One is we're going to start with the people that come in to the bank and make sure that we bring them in as innovators, and the others we're going to work with the people who are already in the bank. So one of the programs was we decided we're going to do all our tech in-source, and we needed technicians, and we said the best people are hackers. Once we managed to convince the bank that hackers are cool people, we had to devise a program, so we created this program called Hack to Hire, where you would come in, and in 24 hours you had to code your way into a job. And we didn't care where you came from, as long as you could code. So when we did this, we gave them a challenge. So example, we put 6 of these people with 1 DBS person on a table, and we said, imagine that you're on a beach, you have a table, you have a laptop, you've got internet, a boat comes, it's got 100 people in it, you don't know where they've come from, they've got no documents, they don't speak the language. You've got to build up a program in 24 hours that's going to tell us who they are, where they come from, give them a credit score, tell me how much money to give them, and how much money I'll get back. The people that finished the next morning got a job. So we got about close to about 500 of these people working with us in the bank. We've also reframed, and this is one of the innovations that the guys put in. So this is an example of what happens when you actually can get through and create innovators. In India, we opened up a digital bank. Now, the big problem with a digital bank is you need people's fingerprint. And to get people's fingerprint, you need a mechanism. Normally, banks use branches. We didn't have branches, so we said, our customers like coffee. So there's just similar to Starbucks, there's a coffee chain called Cafe Coffee Day. We put a fingerprint reader into every coffee shop and hooked it up to their point of sale machine. So you could literally go and say, I want a latte, a cappuccino, and a DBS bank account. And soon, every coffee shop became a bank branch. And in Indonesia, we did the same thing, but over there, they don't like coffee that much. They like delivery, so we basically gave these guys a little reader, and they became our bank tellers. So the notion is, if you do have this mechanism of understanding that the now doesn't have to remain, and the now is meant to change to be the tomorrow, everything's possible. So that's just a couple of examples of how DBS went from damn bloody slow to soon becoming the digital bank of Singapore. We picked up a couple of awards, we're well on the way, but the notion over here was that anyone and everyone can make a difference, and everyone over here who's a founder, I guess, has come here with, I guess, a desire. Don't forget that. And I think I was told that from a tech perspective, one of the key messages was technology is not a barrier. Actually, technology is value neutral. It's what you do with it. One quick example of how easy it is in the examples you saw to get people to do things. I'm going to leave you with another short video, and that's how everyone can make a difference and how easy it is. Sometimes it's just as simple as that. Thank you.